Hey everyone, it's Jim Bob and Becky Pipes here to talk to you a little bit about a recent success that we had with a personal party that Becky did. And Randall asked us to share this story to kind of go along with his rambling because it's the year of the party. So Becky's going to tell you a little bit about the experience, and then I'm going to tell you a couple of things that we learned along the way.
All right, this all started because I needed bookings. My calendar was looking pretty blank, and I wanted to get that in a better place. So I reached out to my team leaders, Jill Cox and Amber Pipes, and asked for ideas. I was planning on doing a personal party, but I haven't had a lot of success with booking off of those in the past. The sales were okay, but I didn't have a lot of bookings, and so I wanted to change that. Wanted to change my mindset, wanted to go into it with a plan, and to have a lot of tips and ideas. So I reached out to them, and then we started working that plan. So we started out with this party, and I invited my VIP members, the ones that had come to a sale or to an event in the past for the past 2 years. So I sent out personal messages to a couple hundred people and just started those conversations happening. So we had about 55 guests that wanted to come, and I was excited for that, and just kept those conversations happening. So I asked them which books they were interested in, if there were certain ones they wanted to see or subjects that they needed in their home, and kept those conversations continuing throughout the party. So we did the party. I used Jill's spring party that she'd shared as a mock party in our group and added in those things, personalized it, added in the things that I knew that they were interested in. Easter basket fillers, boredom busters for spring break, things that I could help with them, problems that could be solved with our books. So I checked with them, I personalized that party, and then did a lot of those behind the scene conversations too. So follow-up happened after the party. The next day I sent messages out seeing if there was anything else I could help with, if there were other things that they needed. For the ones that weren't able to make it, give them all the info so that they could also check out the books. Just continuing those conversations again, like I said, making those connections, building those relationships, and helping them with what they needed. So we ended the party. The sales were right at $970, so we're excited about that. And we had 4 bookings from the actual party post. And I think that was a little unusual for me, usually 1 or 2 if, you know, on that post. And I think part of it was because of those conversations, and it seemed like the natural next step was to have a party if they were looking at a lot of books. And so I was excited for those, but I also knew I wanted to keep up with my plan and do the follow-up and send every single guest a message about booking a party and doing one of their own. So I sent out those messages. It was the day after the party was done, just to check and see if we could also help them do a party of their own and get books for their family. And from those messages, we got 12 more bookings. So 16 bookings from one party. And that was pretty exciting. As the messages came back in, I just kept getting a little more shocked and excited. I had hoped, and I put out my hopes for high success and high rewards, but I did not quite expect that response. And it reminded me once again that you just need to give people an opportunity. We put it out there, and then I simply asked. I asked them if it was something that would work for them, something that they would want to do. So I know in the past it hadn't been like that, but it changed my mindset, worked through the plan, and we were able to see that. And this is something that can be done on a much smaller scale too. I plan on using a lot of the same techniques with the parties that I booked. Reaching out to customers, seeing what their needs are, and following up. Those reminders are so important. It also can work for many other people. We shared it with our team, and we have one of our team leaders, Laura Simpson, that used some of the same ideas that we've been gathering and sharing, and she had a party on Monday night and was able to get 6 bookings from it. So it's something that can be repeatable.
Yeah, and one of the things that we learned in this process is that the words you use, as long as you keep them fairly simple, the words you use don't actually matter. A lot of times we're looking for a silver bullet, something magical that we could say that will catch people, you know. What are the words that you use? We see that a lot on Facebook posts, you know, when someone has success. Oh, what did you say? It's not really that much about what you say. It's about those relationships that you're establishing, about the communication that you're having in a very natural way with your host, with your guests. Obviously, Becky was the host this time, and so she did all the right things. When we're coaching our hosts, we need to be helping them understand that the relationship that they have, the way that they communicate in a natural and and personal way with their guests makes all the difference. That's where the magic happens. It's not the words that you use. It's the relationships that you're building. And like she said, this can be done by pretty much anyone, as long as you're using a very personal method of communicating with them and helping them feel like you're solving a problem that they have. We've all been in the situation as parents where we have a problem, whether it's getting a reluctant reader to get into books, or whether it's trying to feed that insatiable reader more books that we can't ever keep up with it. Whatever the problem is, you're a problem solver. That's what you're doing. And people buy books based on an emotional response that they have, a connection that they feel with that book or with you as a consultant to help them solve those problems that they have. So just remember that. It's less about the words that you use, as long as it's personal, and it's all about those relationships. So that's one of the key takeaways that we got from this. And then, of course, we've heard it all before, but don't prejudge anyone. Talk to every single person, every single guest that showed an interest.
It doesn't matter how much they ordered or didn't order.
Don't base it on anything other than you have an opportunity for them. That's our experience, and it's been a great one so far, and I hope it helps you in your efforts this spring.